Welcome, friends. Hopefully there's not much of a glare. If there is, I'm sorry. But it's craft room, so this is where we do crafts. So my friend Vicki requested when she saw my daughter's fall home tour, which I'll link that in the description, that I'd made her a rag pumpkin. This is mine because she obviously has hers. And I'm going to show you how to make one. So this is a larger form, kind of like you've seen these maybe at Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Walmart. They're the like styrofoam. It's like a larger version of that. I believe I paid $5 for it at Walmart. So you can any size you want. Like I even have the smaller size here. These are pumpkins that I had decorated with in previous years, and I just didn't want them anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to turn them into rag pumpkins. So you'll need some kind of form like this. Obviously, I don't recommend glass or ceramic, but the styrofoam, cloth. I suppose you could use well, this isn't, but like a harder wood form like the resin or whatever, but I guess I would stick more with like styrofoam or fabric because the hot glue will stick to it better. So I've got all these different kinds. Then you're going to need glue sticks. And then the rags actually come from, whoops. So these are placemats, or maybe you've seen these at Walmart as well, these rag rugs. You take them apart, which that in itself is a process, but then when you do, you have all these little fabric strips. And then what I'm going to do is just glue them on. And it's assorted colors, so you can pick like if you want more in the blues and greens, maybe if you want more of the nude colors. Typically when I'm working on a pumpkin, I go through and I kind of pick out all the colors in the colors that I want. So like I got to figure out which pumpkin I want to start with, because I think I'm going to pick the oranges, and obviously I want a green for the stem or a brown. I like some of these lighter colors like this, more of these neutral colors, maybe this one. So I'm going to pick several of these in the color tones that I want. Or like, oh, I love this one for a stem, which granted, a big stem like this, it wouldn't work, but it would work great on these little stems. So I'll save those. Let's see, get some more of the nude colors in here. But yeah, you can pick any of the, like, let's throw in a green one for fun. I want some more oranges. Don't know that I have a lot of oranges because I tend to pick those out. But like my daughter's has more pinks in it, and she has a little bit of orange, maybe like a coral color. Ooh, there's a yellow. There's a tan. But just pick the colors you want, and it's going to take probably more than you expect. So, but like this is all the fabric from one rug, and I was able to cover her pumpkin and my pumpkin. I think that was it. I just made 2 pumpkins, but then I still had all of this left. So you can get quite a few pumpkins out of one rug. I believe I picked mine, or like these are actually placemats I picked up at an estate sale, which granted, there's not a lot of fall colors in there, but maybe if you want to stay with pinks, or, you know, if you want the greens, that's just it. Once you pull it apart, you can pick whatever colors you want. So let's get started on a pumpkin. Let's take this one. And I don't really care if this is on there. I mean, if it bothers you, you can pull it off or cut it off, because I'm going to go ahead and do both, cut and pull it off, because I don't really need it, but it's going to get covered. The whole pumpkin is going to get covered. So this is trash. Absolutely gorgeous day today in North Carolina, so I have the windows open, so that's why you'll hear the breezes and the don't think this one will fit. It's a little bit, this one might be able to stretch it. Let's try. So I usually start at the top here. Need another glue stick in here because we're getting to the end of this one. But I'm going to start here, put a glob of glue on there, and then put my piece on it. And you don't really have to glue it down. There's some pieces I do glue down as I go, but on the side, usually you can stretch it pretty tight. But you see that it goes all the way to the end. So then I'm going to glue it now on this side. And hold it in place until it sticks. And I'm just going to keep going around until I've wrapped the whole pumpkin the way I want. So we'll do some more here, and then I'll probably pause it so you don't have to watch me cover the whole thing because it takes a little bit. And then we'll show you when we get towards the stem. But like this one is too long, so I'll probably end up cutting it in half because I guess you could bring it around to the other side, but I prefer to just go top to bottom and stop, not continue to wrap it around. And I just basically put the glue wherever I need the glue to be to hold the fabric in place. And it doesn't matter if it comes up here on the stem a little bit, because the last thing I'm going to do is wrap the stem to make it the pumpkin stem. So, and you know, if you have little ones, once these are finished, these are pretty safe that they won't be able to really hurt themselves, and they can pick them up and touch them and handle them, and you don't have to worry about your decor getting broke or anything, because they kind of become indestructible once you, I mean, granted, if you had a dog, he could chew it up if he wanted to, I'm sure, but at least it's kid friendly for little kids if you want to have them in your house to decorate with, and they won't hurt it, so to speak. But you can see how we're gaining some colors here, and I might put a little bit more glue here to help it hold down a little bit better. But yeah, I'm just going to keep putting glue wherever I need it to be. Let's go with a tan color. And you can cut it for the length, because obviously you aren't going to need it to be super long, depending on the size of your pumpkin. Like these are going to be much shorter. So, and I just keep sticking it wherever I need the glue to be. You don't want to stick very good, but now I can cut this one because I don't need it to be this long. And I kind of twist it a little bit so that it kind of makes it a little bit more narrow at the bottom, and then you can spread it out more on the sides. I hate all this spider webbing. Anyone know how to keep your glue gun from making spider webs? But there you can see, and like a little bit's peeking out, you just kind of rearrange, and there you go. Now you won't see it. So I'm just going to continue around let's glue this piece down because it's being a little floppy. But I'm just going to continue around the pumpkin. So we'll bring it back when we get a little further. Okay, you can see I have it almost all covered. So I have just one little gap left. And see, the bottom's just kind of mishmash. I am leaving some of these kind of like this, because I think when I put the green on it, I kind of want them to stick out a little bit. And you don't have to, you can make yours more flush. I mean, it's your pumpkin. You can make it however you want to make it. And I did go back through some spots and do a little tacking of the glue through here in different spots because it wanted to come up. And I don't want the pumpkin underneath to show. So I tacked it down so that it would not have gaps. Like there, I need to fix it. There's a gap. So let's do that. Put a little bit of glue there. That's the other thing. I forgot how much glue this takes. You'll go through a lot of glue sticks. So make sure you're stocked up. Like there's another gap. So before you're finished, that'd be one thing you'd want to do is go back through and see, is there any gaps between the ribbons and the rags where you kind of want to tack it down to keep that pumpkin underneath hidden, because that's the whole point of covering it with rags is you want it to now be a different type of pumpkin and not have all that stuff showing. So I think I've got most of the gaps filled in. So I'm probably going to need a couple more strips right here. So I'm going to put this strip in there, and then I'll put in another one because I want it to be good and full. Now you could stretch yours out more if you want yours more stretched out and you didn't want as many rags in it like I have. It's up to you, it's your pumpkin. I like all the colors and all the different rags in it, but that's because it's my pumpkin. So, you know, you do your pumpkin your way. So if you want to spread yours out and make your gaps wider, and so you have less ribbons, you can certainly do that. Or you could even make yours tighter and make your ribbons even closer together and you have even more. So let's see, I'm going to tack a little bit up there because it's a little bit loose up there. So I could spread this out and not have to put another one in, but I think I'm going to anyway just because I want to. So let's take, I had a, there it is, a skinny yellow one. So let's use that one. Why not? And look at that, another. Like I said, it goes through the glue sticks. This process just eats them up. But you want to make sure your pumpkin's gonna, the rags are gonna stay where you want them to be. So, and since this is the last one, I'm gonna put a little glue to help this gap stay exactly covered. So there is no gaps. And even the small scraps I'll save because you never know what size of pumpkin you have that you might need that little scrap for. Or another craft project might come to you that you're like, hey, I need a tiny little scrap. But so there we have it. It's all covered. And like I said, you can use whatever color schemes you want. Like I have a bunch of pinks in here. So I think my next pumpkin might just be a bunch of pinks just for fun. But let's cover the stem. Which this one is not quite big enough. This is better for little ones. So I think I'm going to use this bright green. So I usually start at the top and work down because I just find it easier to do that. So I'm kind of rolling it a little bit so that it's kind of on top of itself, so it's not like this. Because you look at, if it's stretched out, it's a very wide piece. But I'm going to kind of roll it in so that it gets a little bit thinner and glue that gap shut a little bit. Because then what I'm going to do is put some glue up here on the top of the stem and lay my piece down till it's good and stuck. And all the spider webs are there. Ugh. The one thing I hate about glue. But so now I'm probably going to put a little bit more glue on it because you want to be able to cover the stem. So the glue is going to help you support covering it. And you don't have to necessarily glue this part down if you in the beginning because you're just wrapping it. So you're going to wrap it as snug as you can. And like I said, I want some of those little flinkies to kind of be out just because that's the way I want my pumpkin to be. And probably one more time come back around this side. So now because it's just a little bit here, oops, got some strays. I don't need this whole piece. So I'm just gonna cut it, save it for another pumpkin, and then glue it down right here to hide that last little gap. And you can tuck it in if you want it tighter, but I'm going to leave mine sticking out a little bit. And I'm going to glue down a little bit here because I want it to be nice and covered. I don't want any of the previous pumpkin to show. And get all these spider webs off. And maybe some of this down up here is a little bit loose, so I'm going to go ahead and tack it down a little bit better. Get all the spider webs off. Holy smokes. But there you go. That's another rag pumpkin. So you shouldn't see any of the previous pumpkin. And it's pretty durable. And look at how cute they are together. Oops. But there you go. That's how you make a rag pumpkin. So let me know if you try it, if this is something fun. And I'll probably finish all these other ones. Maybe not today, but at the end I'll have some footage to show you all the finished ones so you can see the variety of how they look. And that's the other nice thing about making these, as they're unique. No two pumpkins are going to be alike. Even if you use the same fabrics, it's not going to stretch the same. You're probably not going to pick up the same patterns of colors. So each one of them becomes as unique as you. So let me know if you try some rag pumpkins. Let me know what you think. So there you go. And stay tuned for the finished, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. So at the end, you should see 8 pumpkins, and then you can see all the variety. So thanks for joining me, and let me know if you try it. There's all the pumpkins I have so far. Made more neutral ones. So we have some neutral ones here. The pink one is for my daughter. The orange one's mine from last year, so I'll still be keeping it. And more neutral. I decided to make a moody one because I thought how fun. And then another neutral one. So I love them all together. Aren't those awesome? Okay, I decided to enhance them a little bit. So I had these old tags and I tried to make them look old and stamped on there Cozy Autumn. So this one, and this one are going to be mine. But obviously I don't need all 3 of mine to say Cozy Autumn. So I just am going to put one on. And then the pink one and this one are going to be for my daughter. And she already has one. If you watched her video, I can tag it in the description. So I figure she doesn't need all 3 of hers to say Cozy Autumn. And then these other 2 here and this one on the end are for some other friends of mine. So since they're only getting one, they can have Cozy Autumn. And if they'd like more, I can certainly make more. Or since you watched the video, you can make some too. I've thought about putting them in my shop. If somebody would be interested in buying them, let me know your thoughts. Should I make some to sell, or do you just want to make them yourself? But anyway, there is the rag pumpkin tutorial, and I think they turned out really well. I love how each one of them is different. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.